So this video right here is sort of a dovetail off the Allison 6-speed transmission build that Mark here at Kodiak Truck put together here. So I figured this would be a great opportunity to make a separate video for some of you guys that are interested in learning how to do this yourself. So today we're going to be installing a Transgo Jr Shift Kit. Now this is for the 6-speed Allison 1000 is what we're doing here. And again, Mark is going to explain what he's going to do in the video, so make sure you watch the video from start to finish. You cannot miss a single step because it's very crucial that if you skip and you forget something, they can really throw your transmission out of whack. So Mark, exactly what is the Transgo Jr Shift Kit and why is it so beneficial?
Sure. So in a stock application, it's going to prolong your transmission. It's going to give you crisper, firmer, more shifts, and definitely it's going to do it in a built trans also. So yeah, it's just, you know, it's a good upgrade. It's an inexpensive upgrade, and a lot of guys can do this on a Saturday morning in their driveway with basic hand tools. It's not going to take a whole lot to do this. So it's definitely a good upgrade.
Oh, definitely. It really is, and he's absolutely right. It doesn't take really a whole lot of time, and just a little bit of attention to detail in about, you know, an hour or so of your time, you can make this happen. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and again, thanks for watching.
All right, guys, now we're moving on to the valve body. We're going to blow the bolts out of here. We're going to leave this one in. We're going to blow these out so we can separate this thing and get this apart. And then we got to wash everything and get everything cleaned up and strip this thing thoroughly. Alright, what I do is I take a little small flat blade, there's a break right in here, I get there, and then I slide it around to this backside, and kind of split it there, and try to get up into the middle. There's another dowel right up in here. Got another part there. I also hold this top plate down here, because if this comes off, the solenoids are going to come off, trim valves, and everything inside there is going to shoot out, because everything's spring-loaded. So got that piece off. What I like to do is I just, for now until I strip it, I'm going to lay it back on the bench top and I just prop a socket down just to keep pressure on that plate so everything doesn't come apart. Here's our mid plate. This is going to get drilled for our shift kit. We're going to get a bucket and drain all the excess fluid out of here. Right here we have a little tiny filter that filters the fluid in the valve body, and we can always inspect those and look. See, that sometimes will dictate how much clutch material a transmission may have in it. So you pull that out, and we'll look at this closer, but all in all it looks pretty clean. This was a stock trans that really wasn't beat on all too bad. Clutches got a little hot, but I've had these already where you need a stock transmission and somebody's really roasted hard on it, and these things will be packed pretty full of clutch material. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get the rest of this all knocked down, stripped, and get the fluid drained out of it, get everything scrubbed up, and then we'll show you where we're going to drill this and put the shift kit in and everything else, and then we'll install it in the trans. So we just kind of laid out the instructions here so you guys can take a look at it. I'm just going to grab a screwdriver here as a pointer. So if you look at this all, what's going to end up happening is both of these trim valves, one has a rib in it, one doesn't. Our trim valve with the rib right here is going to be on the outside edge of the valve body, and the other one's going to be on the other inside. So everything behind these pieces right now, what you see right here where it says reuse in the instructions, everything behind there we're going to discard. And then we're also going to take our center plate and we're going to drill 2 holes in it with the 1/8 inch drill bit that's provided there. We're going to pop a hole through there, and we're going to file that down, and we'll show that to you so that we flatten the surface back out so we don't have no burr from the drill bit or anything else. What we're going to do here is we're going to pull this plate off. Keep your fingers over the top of these two because they're going to want to pop up. See how that one just did it? No big deal. We're going to take that, set it down, and take this one, pop it out, set it down, cock it at an angle a little bit, and I'm going to pull it up, and I got the spring and that. All these parts here so far we're going to save. I'm going to pull this out next, push these through, and we'll come out the front side. Okay, right there, there's the other one. Now we got the rest of the guts that are in here yet. I'm just going to take this and dump this and show you the pieces that we're going to discard. That's basically what we're pulling out. Those are the old valves. So we're going to finish stripping this valve body down, we'll wash everything up, get it back together, and we'll show you the rest of the install. We started taking our valve body apart. We're going to pull all these out, and again we thoroughly clean everything. We're going to lay this all out here. There's another one, there's our spring. Take this side apart. Got that out. Now we got that all down. We're going to clean all these parts. We're going to come back to you and explain a few things here, a few modifications we make. Here's our mid plate for our valve body. These are the 2 holes. I just took a marker and circled the 2 that we're going to drill and file down, just so that you guys could see it easier rather than me try to point to it. So we're going to go ahead and drill those, and then we'll file it off from both sides flat. Some guys will use a chamfer or just a hair bigger drill bit. That's also another option. You just want to make sure you do not enlarge in the hole any more than what that drill bit is. So we'll go ahead and drill these. I'm just going to take a file and knock the burr down on these, and then I'll show you my trick, what I like to do. Everybody's got different ideas, but I just like to have this as flat as possible. I'll take the drill bit then and run through the opposite side, and just make sure that if there was a metal chip or a burr, it's gone. And I'll go back and check this side. We're good to go. Now I'm just going to go and hit this with a little brake cleaner and blow it off for one final cleanup. Here's our factory spring. It's the same spring in all of these. We run an upgraded spring, and basically it's a hair longer spring to put more pressure on it. I'm going to try to hold it there so the camera can see it, and you can see the difference in length. Our springs we run are just a hair longer. So they're an updated spring, they work well, and that's what we do. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get rid of the old springs, and we're going to assemble this thing and put all the new springs back in it. This one here, we don't have an aluminum cup on the end, so I just take my flat blade, kind of push that down, finesse it around a little bit. Got her in. And every one of these too, I always go back and I just double check everything's moving slowly. Just take my screwdriver. Put this one in next. Grab another upgraded spring. Shove that in. Shove the aluminum cup back in there. Good to go there. Got our last one here, and there we are. Now we're going to take our filter, which is right here. This is a brand new one. We're going to drop that in the valve body, stick that down in. That'll be good there. We're going to take our mid plate that we've now drilled, set that on. We're going to be ready to go there. Now we're going to have to deal with the top half of our valve body. We're going to go ahead and reinstall our solenoids. This one's going to go back in with the spring. Feed it in here. Gotta kind of be careful doing this one. Sometimes I'll put a little trans gel on it, or I'll just turn it upside down. But what I'll do is I'll get it in there, I'll hold it with my flat blade, bring it back up, and then I just check to make sure everything's seated in place and that feels good. I'll bring this solenoid in, clip our bracket back on, put this in, and just put some light small pressure there just to hold it. We'll torque that once we get it all back together. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our valves in. So I've already got these bags cut open, so we're going to just dump the parts out. I'm going to try to lay them out here so you guys can see everything. We got 2 springs and a check ball, and this stuff here I definitely use the trans gel on. So what I'm going to do is take the smaller spring, put a little trans gel on, get that ball to stick on there, and literally shove it right inside there. Then I just take a little bit more trans gel, just put a light bit on there, put the spring on, and just enough to hold it in place. Now this one with the rib is on the outer edge of the valve body. So I'm going to stick that in. Got that one in. Again, I just kind of check it with the flat blade. We're going to do the same thing with the other one. Just this one doesn't have the rib on. A little bit of this trans gel. Get that ball stuck on there. Get it positioned just right. We'll get it in there. Stick that in. Again, just a little bit to hold that spring so it doesn't move on me when I put it in. Slide that one up and in. We're good to go. I'm going to stand her up. Kind of in our last steps here. And we'll start dropping everything back in that we took out. We ran all this stuff through the tank. We washed it with mineral spirits, and then we also just took brake cleaner and brake cleaned everything. That one's down and in. Okay, both of them are in. Do not mix up your solenoids. They are different. We're going to put both of those in. I push them down, hold them in place. We'll put these accumulators back in. I'm going to put our plate over the top. Everything's in place there. Now all I'm going to do is just take this at this point and drop it right onto the other half of our valve body. There are 2 dowels you're going to line up. A dowel right there, we're going to drop in. We're good there. And then we got one more on the opposite side. We're lined up, and I'm just going to snap it right together. Going to go put our valve body bolts back in. Try to catch this one right away because that's obviously holding all our springs and everything else in there. Get the rest of these in. And I'm just very lightly bringing these down. I'm not going crazy by any means because all this is going to get torqued. Right there. All right, there's our valve body. We're back together. We'll get our pan harness clean. We'll get our new O-ring on that, and we'll show you the install into the bottom of the trans. All right, so we got our trans ready to go. I got the new O-ring on our pan harness. I took a little trans gel and just lubed the bore. We're going to slide this into place. You'll hear it clip just like that. Make sure that the fingers grab, all the fingers grab, that this doesn't come out. I've seen where guys do this. They put the harness in, they go to plug it in, and they end up pushing this right back into the transmission. So if you got one of them fingers that are broken, I highly recommend you replace it. So we're going to flip that harness out of the way. I'm going to shift the trans up to here so I can catch that pin. This is our selector pin that is going to go in the selector inside the transmission. We're going to line that up right into that groove. So we're going to spin the valve body. We can slide that up here so we can catch it. And we're going to make sure that catches, and then we'll just drop the valve body. Not drop, but set. And it's in. Alright, we're going to run these all down loose. And we're going to come back and torque everything in the valve body. So we're torquing everything here. I got a system I kind of go through on all these. I torque these at 9 foot-pounds. It does call for a Newton meter. We calculate it over, and that's about what it comes out at, is 9 foot-pounds. So we go through these. I do these, and then I get them all done, and I go back a second time and I double check everything. I know to some of you guys, you might look at that and say, oh, why are you going it over 2 times, 3 times? Better safe than sorry. Make sure you got everything correct. So this is our beginning again, where we're going to start over. I like to go through the whole perimeter, all the way around. I'll get it to where our gold ones are up here, and then I'll stop and I'll come back bottom side of the tube and hit everything in this area. Right, so we're going to finish up hooking up our pan harness and finish up this trans at this point right now. We're going to pull these 2 retaining clips back out. We're going to drop our pan harness down where it belongs. We'll put our clips in. These clips are interchangeable from side to side, so are these 2 particular solenoids. We're in there. Now I'm just going to come along and I'm going to plug everything back in. I'm going to go down to the very bottom here, which is the toughest one to get down in your fingers at. And we're going to get this connection plugged in. That one's in. Come up to the top and we'll just go right across. Plug it in. I always double check it, kind of pull back on them. Usually you can hear them snap in. We're in. This is our neutral safety switch, which we're in. Pressure manifold switch over here. And our last solenoid. You also see that we put our bar in here for our detent, for our shifting. It also keeps our neutral safety switch in position when we're shifting. If you guys want to watch how that works. As we're shifting the transmission, it's changing gears in the valve body, but our neutral safety doesn't move because the other side of that's held in place there. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to put our filter on. I put a little lube on that O-ring, just trans gel, trans fluid, whatever you prefer. Line it up. I give it a thump with my hand, it's down in. We'll drop our pan gasket on. Drop our pan on. We're going to put our bolts in here. We're going to torque those at 20 foot-pounds. I'm going to pull this back out. We're going to put a new O-ring on that, and that's going to get torqued at 25.
Okay guys, so that is it. That's the procedure, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and hopefully we learned something. That's what this channel is designed to do, is to give you guys information about exactly how to do stuff, and as well as product reviews. But again, Mark, I do appreciate you allowing me to stop by with my camera and document this awesome footage to share with the diesel community. So thank you so much for that.
You bet. Hopefully these guys find this useful and put it to good use.
Oh, and you know they will too.
Oh yeah,
I'll actually leave Mark's information in the description below if you guys have any questions or if you're interested in any awesome remanufactured parts such as driveline components. He is a specialist in that field. He definitely remanufactures Allison transmissions. He does a lot of transfer cases. That's the bread and butter here. And I'll definitely leave that information down there in the description below. Another thing, go to KodiakTruck.com. You can actually use a coupon code. He set me up with a coupon code to help you guys out. It's going to save you guys some coin on some of these awesome diesel parts. I do appreciate your time. As always, take care.